So it's been a little bit. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the previous agenda? I'll call this into order. We're in order. We're
We're in
the
order.
meeting is
Okay.
the meeting is
Order.
going. Here we go. Um,
And Kat
I'll
Cotton
approve.
just joined us. So Steve, do you want to say, you said approve the agenda, which is true, it's formal, but then you could just say to approve the minutes, which are from August, because that's the last time we had a meeting.
mm, yeah, I have the Civil Service Commission.
Yes, there was there was a mistake when I posted that on Friday, so.
Nicole was on cold medicine.
I was on cold medicine and trying to get out of the office on a Friday afternoon. Yes, so I have the
Yeah,
agenda here, Steve, if you want me
yeah,
to.
why don't you just go ahead and walk us through it, and
Okay,
I'll pretend I have some
okay.
level of
So
authority. I really don't.
the minutes are, I did send an email yesterday with the proper
Yeah.
minutes, and they're from August. So if anybody do a motion to approve.
Sure, I'll motion to approve.
Okay, the second?
I second.
Okay, I got a second, approved. Okay, so Steve's working at a disadvantage because he has the wrong agenda. I'm so sorry, Steve.
Oh no, I'm working on it. I just my city email's on a different device, so I'm just
Okay.
forwarding it around. It'll just take me a second.
Okay, so the first thing is art class updates, I guess, Commissioner Miller.
So
Yeah.
okay. Since last meeting, we want to do some art class for the teens. So I contact Stephanie Olson. She's teaching, I think, middle school in our district or something. She has a lot of experience teaching teens, and so I think she's a good fit for our next classes for the teens, and
With
maybe
the library, the partnership with the library.
and maybe in preparation for the plein airs in spring.
Okay.
So that's
Is that January or what's the date?
It depends on the library.
Okay.
So Jen said she will work out with Stephanie. So
Okay.
I think it's sometime in February.
January. Okay, February. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And she got some idea like making like a flipping comic books, and I thought it would be really interesting.
good for the teens.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Well, thank you for spearheading that and keeping that alive.
Yes.
And is that the same artist that you think? So what we've been talking about, group, just to get us all on the same page, and Commissioner Miller was saying, let's have this artist do a class and do like a plein air pop-up in the spring with the cherry trees in Railroad Park. And then
That's a different artist I have in mind.
a different.
So this artist she's more teacher. I mean, I don't know how well she's doing the plein air, but I have another artist. Her name is Suze Wood. She's quite famous in Seattle actually. She painted this huge like a wall size of tree, and she also would recognize plein air painters. And so I'm not sure how the teaching will be like. We provide supplies and stuff, but I was just gonna ask as part of because you mentioned about having a spring plein air, like painting cherry tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna ask her to do a demo, and then to start with, and everybody just go and
Okay.
And so it's kind of class, but not really like you have to do step by step. Just people that are interested in everyone.
So more casual, not as formal as the
It's
summer.
part of the activity.
Okay.
And then we will have like plein air, but not competitions.
Right.
Because we only have one competition, but it's just everybody. And then maybe I don't know what you guys think. Like maybe we can select few of them to show in the city hall.
Yeah.
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 I looked at photos that we've taken in the past of the trees, and it just kind of, I think, depends on the weather a little bit, but it's like the end of March, early April. So maybe we'll have a tentative date, and then the
Before
closer we get.
the spring
Yeah.
spring break. Okay.
Yeah, and spring break is the week of April 13th, and so there's Ashley, come on in. So I think probably that first week in April, which is good because it's not spring break in the district, so you know.
So I talked to her, she's excited, but I don't know her schedule because she's a quite very busy lady.
Okay.
So if she didn't turn out, maybe I would just do demo
You
myself.
could do it, yeah.
I could substitute.
Yeah.
But it's just yeah. So I don't know who is gonna be in charge of this. Maybe like you will be sitting the meetings and hey, we're gonna hold something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we can start to talk about dividing and conquering for 2025. So I'll just pause and introduce Ashley Hale. You found us.
Yeah.
Welcome. Catch your breath.
My class gets over at 5:30.
Oh, wow. And you're here
So
at
I'll always
5:40.
be like, switch.
No, perfect. Did you want to say a few? Well, so we've got, I'll let everybody introduce themselves. We can start with the big square, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Pennington. We've met. I came by and talked to you when you were painting the piano with the kids.
Oh, yes.
Getting ready for that. I dropped by and talked about the Arts Commission and stuff. Obviously I made it sound super cool. So nice to see you here. That's
All
that's
credit
very
goes to
exciting.
Steve. Very cool.
Donna.
Oh, you're on mute, Donna.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome. I'm Donna Crum. I've been on the Art Commission. I'm going to be going on 5 years, but I'm actually rolling off in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you now.
Nice to meet you too.
She
And you're
might
going to
be
have a lot
total
of
stranger.
fun.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of fun. So enjoy yourself and bring all your creative energy.
I'll try.
And Sarah, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm Sarah Ellie. I think I've been on the Arts Commission for maybe half a year or so. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I think
Very cool.
I live in, yeah, that's awesome.
And then I think you two know each other from the gallery,
Yes.
right? Okay. So we were just going through the agenda, and Commissioner Miller was just talking to us about, she started classes with the library, so a partnership with the library. You did one in September, was geared towards adults, right?
Yeah,
And it sold out.
Mhm.
And then working on a teen class. Probably in February with the library.
Very cool.
And then the other thing, I don't remember who came up with it, but I know I feel passionate about it, is we're gonna do the cherry trees in Railroad Park in the spring are beautiful.
Yeah.
So doing some sort of a class, not official plein air like what you judged this summer, but just a class. Are we thinking a demo, but just invite people to come
Maybe
and
like activities.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, we're gonna have plein air and everybody can come and we have the demo artists come here.
Could be a good way to drum up people for the July plein air as well.
And then also suggestion of maybe select a few of the painting that we really like and then invite them to Wemba and then show in the city hall for a month to see.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I like that idea. So yeah. Okay. So that's class updates. Oh, art off the rails. I did that wrong. Okay. So I will present on behalf of Steve to City Council in December accomplishments by the Arts Commission, but I want you guys to tell me what you think your accomplishments are, and then I can work to create the presentation or the slides. So put her out there. Last year we had a nice, Donna presented and we had a real visual presentation. I'll show the people in the room of the different things that we had. Oh, I'm looking at this now and I'm seeing Larry the elk, Sarah, who's been painting those for us for 2 years now. She has moved out of the area. It's too far, so she's stepped down from that. So we won't be having that look, that mural. It doesn't mean you aren't having murals, but Larry's perhaps retired. I know, we all kind of like Larry.
We just got Elkie out there and we're developing
Could
a
we not
romance.
get another artist to do windows with
She sent an email to some people. I haven't heard anything. I mean, Ashley's done some stuff.
I mean, is it proprietary? Is that what it is?
You know, it's not proprietary. We never had her sign anything, but I think it is kind of unique to her style. But if we wanted to have, the Elks of 2025 and what Larry reimagined looks like if we have another artist, I mean, we can do a call for artists, or just you guys can reach out into the art community.
Just no stripes.
No,
Yeah,
no
because
stripes.
we own the concept. She owns the act. Like we couldn't project her artwork and trace it or anything like that. But we can have new artists come in and do new versions of the Elks. Like that's totally fine. That's not going to be a problem at all. And Sarah's pretty relaxed about all that, regardless. But yes.
I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a simple email like, hey, we want to continue on with Larry and Elkie. Are you comfortable with us continuing, windows with an Elks? Name Larry and Elkie, because apparently kids liked it, families liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and
So
Sarah and
I
I have
don't
had
want to see
multiple.
it being retired. I think he's too
We,
young to retire. And quite
we,
frankly, he's got a long life there.
we had Sarah and I've had a series of conversations in person. We haven't written
I think
everything
we get
out,
it
but
documented though.
we'll get that done. Yeah.
And just like, are you comfortable with that?
Yep.
She agrees. We got it documented, and we roll with another artist. That's my opinion on that.
Yep.
And
Yeah. No,
I
I'll
have
make
an
I'll make that
email
happen.
from her that kind of basically says that. So I think we're covered there. So, okay,
Yep.
we can do some communication to try to get the word out for a new elk artist.
I'm
So
tempted.
Nicole, are you asking? Do you want us to? Is the plan for right this moment for you to go through the list of stuff that we had from last year and see what's updated, or are you asking us to brainstorm, or do you want us to take?
We got
Have,
sidetracked, Steve. I'm sorry.
okay.
I got us sidetracked.
She saw Elkie in last year's presentation. I don't know
Yes.
if, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I have last year's slide still.
So you guys, you did the
So
art off the rails, chalk off the block, the
yep.
plein air paint out, the murals, and then we had the temporary exhibit from Wing Luke.
Yep. And we did kind of the most advanced even though I kind of walked away from it towards the end there, but we did kind of the most complicated set of displays in City Hall, kind of in general, because we did the big Barbara's big piece
Oh yeah.
of art. We did we had a lot of work going through there, right?
Right. So we basically reactivated the City Hall lobby gallery.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and kind of went with bigger stuff, a lot of local stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, we had the most talented plein air painter in the valley, show all of her stuff. So
Oh yeah.
her
Yes. And
her name
sold some
escapes me, but
pieces. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one, Steve. So we did that. Chalk the block we did at the pancake breakfast for Snoqualmie Days.
And then 4th of July.
4th of July.
4th of July. Okay. We did it at
Yeah.
at the block party. It wasn't huge, but I'll put it down.
Yeah.
And then art off the rails happened. Plein air paint out.
I think the new banners.
Oh yes,
Oh,
Donna. Yeah. Those are gonna switch out this week. I'm sad to see them go, but I have to put up the
They're
winter
beautiful.
lights.
I love
I'll put them back in the rotation next year.
yeah, the new banners are lovely.
That's a lot of stuff for being down on commissioners.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We have the art classes in the library.
Yeah, art class. And the partnership with the
library.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay.
The library on the road, right?
Yeah.
I hit the old librarian.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Cool. Okay. I think we've covered it all, right? Yeah, that is for a lean mean machine that we've been this year. Good job, you guys. Okay.
Yeah, we did the holiday village, and the only reason I mentioned that is because while it was technically prior to this calendar year, it was after we did December's presentation.
What was that, Steve? Was that the
The
little?
holiday the so the gingerbread village with
Oh, okay.
right
That was the
in
art
partnership.
commission thing?
Well, yeah, we did it in partnership with the downtown merchants. It
Mm.
was funded by a grant from me being too lazy to submit expense reports.
Okay, cool. I will follow Donna's lead and do the graphics and then just kind of do a verbal, I can't think of the words. I'll verbally discuss these. No, I'm struggling tonight.
Yeah, and reach out. You know, it's I've been really hard to reach in terms of having phone calls and stuff during the week, but I will send me an email if you need any details on like the art off the rails or anything.
Okay, okay, will do. Um,
For those of you that don't know, I'm broadcasting from Richland, Washington, which is home for the next few months. So
well, I appreciate you zooming in, Steve. That's good. Okay, the next thing was Steve had sent an email. I added it to the agenda for Art Off the Rails, and the date, but I didn't want to overcommit this group to anything. That event looked a little different with Snoqualmie's participation in 2024 than 2023. Some of that was probably due to the cumbersome nature of trying to get vendors and maybe business licenses for the city of Snoqualmie. I think that kind of held us back a little bit, but we were activated in our end of things. So I don't know, Steve, this is the one you've kind of been overseeing all the, I don't want to speak for you, so you have
oh
to.
yeah, so again, I'm very remote. I'm not I can't be active in the month to month conversations and then ultimately the week to week conversations leading up to Art of Rail. It did struggle a little bit last year, primarily with the fact that we had rolled it forward 4 months or whatever. So we didn't have a full year to kind of to reimagine going into the second year of the event. But from the Arts Commission side, there are three sections to it. There's Snoqualmie, there's the Railroad Museum, and then there's the North Bend Art and Industry. The Arts Commission can participate in terms of like being kind of a flag bearer, funding some of the stuff. We paid for banners and stuff last year, things like that. I ran it in conjunction with the downtown merchants and let them take most of the responsibility, since then that way we had three nonprofits involved. It doesn't have to be done that way. But probably so I don't know entirely what we want to ask for tonight, Nicole. Like ultimately somebody, if the Arts Commission, somebody's going to have to run it from Snoqualmie, whether that be from the merchants or from the Arts Commission. And then the commission can decide what their level of commitment is going to be in terms of financial or time commitment to it. And then and if we're not going to be participating, then we would need to roll it back to so leave it to North Bend and the train museum to do their ends of it. But that's a lot. That's probably more than we can cover in a conversation right now. I don't know what you want to do with that, Nicole. If you want to, I mean, because the date that they picked is in, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, June, right?
It's June 21st, which
Yeah.
Is that busy weekend again?
yes, I think it is.
That's like right before school gets out.
Okay,
too.
what did I say? Graduation is June 12th and
Graduation,
Father's Day
is
is.
a wild weekend to pick.
How can Father's Day be June, okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21? Look at me do my fingers. Father's Day is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's not computing. If Father's Day is the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, that's not computing.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do an event on a Saturday, but I mean, I guess the thing is,
Can you check your phone?
yeah, I'm gonna check my
Right,
phone.
because last year it was high
Father's
school
Day is the
graduation.
15th.
and Father's Day, and
Father's Day is on the 15th in 2025.
Okay. I mean, at least
yeah.
it's not Father's Day.
Is that
That's
still
graduation.
graduation weekend?
Is Ashley saying that is
It's-
graduation late this year?
It's either that one or the next one. I can look it up real quick. I'll pull up the question or the.
I mean, Kat brings up a good point that it was a hard weekend because there was a
Yeah.
lot of
No, it was,
competition.
that we ran into problems then with
It's a terrible time.
vendors. We ran into trouble with artists. We ran into trouble with food trucks. Like that was a busy, that was a really crazy. I would have not chosen that weekend. I inherited
Also,
it.
isn't it a kind of iffy weather weekend usually around here?
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean, that's
yeah,
kind of been the event's Achilles
yeah.
heel every year is that they pick a really difficult date.
Well, the September, the original one is
Yeah.
historically Farmer's Almanac, like a good weekend,
Oh,
but they just
Yeah.
happened to get rain. But they also that was like the 23rd or something like that. That's
It was pretty late in September, but it was supposed to
was
be
late.
yeah. Normally, historically, that would have been a fine weekend, and then we got rain that weekend, and so everybody panicked and said we have to move it earlier in the year, and so they went the opposite direction, and so then we had rain. We had expectations of rain right up until it didn't rain, but it did rain this week. This year, it rained in North Bend. Snoqualmie was fine, but North Bend had rain, so it there's challenges, and that's the thing is that so if the other thing is that the decisions aren't just ours, right? The decision is if North Bend Art and Industry and the Railroad Museum are going to participate, and then we have to pick who our representatives are going to be, and then we can negotiate kind of what the dates are going to be. I started to walk down the path of understanding the implications of the various weekends around the calendar, but I know that Nicole's just kind of more masterful about that. That's why I brought you into that conversation, because like I don't know when Fall City Days is, for instance, right? So I know you already have that in a list. So
yeah. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's not really my choice. I mean, this isn't my event. I support you guys in this event. And then just me personally, I'm afraid with this event, there's getting enough traction that if as a volunteer organization or a group, you guys don't have the capacity, I'll be honest, I'm afraid I'm gonna have city leadership looking at me to do it. And June is a very difficult month for me.
right.
I could not take this on if we as a group, didn't take it on. So it's a capacity issue for everybody, right? So, I mean, we could say to them, pick your date, and then if we can participate in some way, shape, or form, we'll support it, but.
Yeah, I think like I like the idea, we just support like maybe a little financial support and then for the merchant of the Snoqualmie.
I
They
think
it
you
would
should
be
be
like
really
taking
clear on what
posting-
kind of financial support you're going to be like. We'll do advertising, or we will help with signage, but be really clear about what your financial support is. Otherwise, it will end up being a lot more than you really want.
Right.
Would be a recommendation. Question, Steve, didn't you have a small group of citizens not related to the council that were also kind of coordinating and doing this? Is that still intact?
So we were working on kind of forming all that up. What we were doing primarily is partnering with the downtown merchants and using their expertise in the Snoqualmie space and making sure that we line things up in terms of making sure that communications were good and that we were sending business their way and that sort of thing. They might be interested again. My communications with the downtown merchants have been there's been a lot of distractions since buildings were burning and that sort of thing. So it's been priorities have been shifting, and I've been a little bit hesitant to pursue that with any sort of gusto until people have had a chance to work at some of their other priorities. So
So the answer
but
is
yeah,
no.
so the answer is maybe is kind of right now, and so that's why I if we don't, if there's nobody on the Arts Commission who has a passion to pick up the reins and drive art off the rails, then what we should probably do is have NBA and I and the Railroad Museum reach out and talk to the merchants and see if they can set up some sort of, if there's anybody on that side that wants to pick it up. But it would be inappropriate for me to carry that messaging forward. All right, that has to come from within the committee. So so step one is, does anybody in our arts commission want to do it? And if the answer is no, then we'll move to plan two, just to phase two.
I feel like
I'm
it would
happy
be
to
inappropriate.
help. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sarah.
I said I'm happy to help. I'm a little worried to overextend myself, but I definitely can support and help in any way that needed as much as I can. I'm not sure if I could take such an event, like take ownership of an event like that big at this point, but I'm happy to support and help.
Kat is bringing up she's motioning to me something else that's interesting within the community is Snoqualmie Days, which has been the third weekend in August forever. That has been led by the Railway Museum for a decade or more, and they have stepped aside and given that responsibility of that event to the downtown merchants. So two things are happening with that. One, we've got some of the same individuals, it's literally individuals, that's not groups of people, that are now tasked with doing large events, maybe perhaps even this, and they are thinking of changing the date of Snoqualmie Days.
To spring is what.
Is it to spring?
And
that was the discussion.
That's a really important point. Thank you, Kat, for bringing that up, because the other side of that is that the original impetus for Art Off the Rails from the Snoqualmie end was because of the hole that was left. Because after the pandemic, we didn't bring the art portion of Snoqualmie Days back to life, right? I think it had started to peter out before the pandemic, but I'm just using that as a historical marker, as a point in time. So it would be interesting to talk about making the art part of it come back to being attached to Snoqualmie Days. So then and kind of align those two bits of energy. That would be a fantastic solution. And then yeah, I think that would be great. But as long as it can't be obviously the second or third week in August, because that's not going to work for the North Bend end of the event, right? If you bring it into the spring, then it could be it could go really well.
So there's a lot of unknowns for some pretty big, impactful things. I mean, I guess, Steve, we could have you say, North Bend, go forth with your date and we'll have to get back to you. Maybe we are able to support a June event, like maybe we provide entertainment in the gazebo. You guys can help, or together we collectively buy musicians, I pay the bills. There's some things that we could do to support the event that wouldn't be a huge
Yeah, and honestly, if we wanted to do just throw up some food trucks and some musicians, we can. That end of it was incredibly successful last year. Like that was great. Even with the impending doom and gloom of the weather, that went really, really well with the 50-piece brass band and the rock music all afternoon. Like that all was great. If we wanted, I mean, I could do that part. It's just the part that's harder is getting all of the artists and vendors that want to participate, get them all lined up and get them all their business licenses and get everything coordinated with the city and get all those. That's the far harder part of the project. But if it's just music and food, I can you can do that. I can do that from Tri-Cities. That's fine.
I mean, we could do music and food and maybe don't do the vendor thing. That just adds a whole nother element. Maybe 3 artists in action, set up somewhere in town. So there's things that we could do to activate this end of things to still partake in this, but not have it be so much.
Yeah,
It's too much.
100%. But the other hard part for me is, again, I can't do Thursday afternoon meetings with the NBA and the Railroad Museum. I work banker's hours.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So why don't we just tell them, go forth and pick your June date, and then our level of participation here is TBD.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then you and I can circle back, and then I might reach out to Sarah to see if she wants to help with a couple of those coordinating pieces. Just a couple of a little bit, Sarah.
Perfect.
Not nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds perfect. I can
I
definitely
know.
do that.
That's you and I share a lot of the same project manager vibe, so we're good. So.
Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds good. I guess that was, so one of the things that we did miss, and I'm not even gonna try to recreate this tonight, is that in October, we would normally do a retreat where we would you guys would evaluate the past year and what do you wanna do moving forward, and we weren't able to have a meeting, we weren't a full group, so I mean, while we've got some history in the room, like this will vary, but this is Donna's last meeting, and now that I say that out loud, it kind of makes me really sad, but it does make, not kind of, it does make me sad, Donna. But if there's things that you guys want to talk about now, like because things do take time to plan, like what are some objectives or some things that we don't want to let go of as an arts commission, you know, looking ahead. For me, I know the plein air is something that has been a long-standing tradition. I know you're passionate about it. Sarah said she's passionate about it. Like, I think there's enough passion in the room. We could make that happen, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like, what do you guys think about when you're looking at 2025 that are goals? Classes, I think.
Get more commissioner join.
More commission, no, 100%. Steve, is it too soon to know? Are you gonna be able to stay on, or are you gonna have to step down?
So
Or TBD?
yeah, it's still TBD. I haven't
Okay.
changed. I haven't moved my residency. My mail is still getting delivered. I still have a place in Snoqualmie. Right. I'm just here temporarily, theoretically, but we'll see how intense things get over the course of the next. I've got 60 more days in this, and there's a 90-day trial period that we're working through. So.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move forth like you're still here.
Yeah.
60 days.
Okay, all right, so back to 2025 goal classes.
Yes, I'm thinking of having 4 classes for next year.
For
like
one each quarter.
Yeah, you talk about like maybe what you call is fine, but you talk about like a shorter season, so like so we are not packing in the middle, like everybody's busy.
It gets an indoor activity.
Winter and fall, this is what I'm thinking about. This 2 in like maybe February, March, and then 2 in like maybe September, October, November.
Okay.
Yeah, and we already have wonderful instructor in our art gallery, so I can always go, hey, can you do it? Help me? So
okay,
it will be great, and I hope that this time that we will have more people inside our community actually come. We want to change to first come first serve registration instead of someone just book a spot and they never show up. So that way that we can attract more local, because the King County cannot limit location, like we can only say Snoqualmie resident can only be Snoqualmie resident to register, right? So then last time I wasn't aware of that. So
yeah.
So I decided our registration spot got booked within 2 days, but then the turnout was not so great. But I think it's a lesson I learned, and hopefully we'll do better.
Yeah.
Are they free?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Donna, what
Okay, so
would you like to see stay active in the community, in the Arts Commission?
Me?
Yeah,
But I'm not here next year.
I know you're not. I just am valuing your input.
Oh, okay. I like plein air. Love to see it continue. I'm happy to volunteer and help on the event. Um, I also think it's been a part of this community for something like 10 years.
I
So
think it goes back to 2009 or 12 is the first one.
is
Yeah,
it that? Yeah. So
yeah.
it's been a part of this community for a while. I'd love to see it expanded, and I love the idea of a spring plein air, maybe a junior plein air event for kids to do. I think that's fantastic. I think the smaller ones seem to be more impactful in terms of events, as well as it's something that we can support. We all have lives, we all have jobs, we all have family, we all have. So having really big, substantial events seems to be harder for us
Yeah.
to put on, but like Elkie and the banners and, Lawrence the elk and those things add a sense of community and hominess, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think that those are more impactful.
Yeah.
So Donna just said out loud everything I had written down on this piece of paper. Because really, that's what in the earlier part of this conversation, right? So things we want to do this next year, we want to find and celebrate a new local artist that can do the Larry the Elk murals for us, right? We want to, we should push forward the Chalk the Block because that's a really good, impactful thing that we do that doesn't take a lot of effort. I mean, you just drop out some buckets. That's not a big deal at all. The spring plein air is great, kids plein air is great, um and
The
yeah.
International Festival, I brought that one up before, having maybe a booth where we sponsor a henna artist or something like that.
Yeah.
Henna artwork on the hands can be done, and you could learn more about the Art Commission and the community and how we really embrace the artists, our local artists. So,
and I was able behind the scenes to, we didn't pay our light bill. Just kidding.
oh no, my employees have that happen when I talk to them and they're in the office. The lights turn out. I'm like, time to go home.
Yeah.
I can do that too, but I have to hit a button.
So the block party, what you didn't know is the Arts Commission paid for the face painting booth and the Arts Commission paid for part of the stage. It was a way to help fund it, but get that sponsorship credit out there.
I would also like to see you continue branding the Arts Commission.
Yeah.
Like everywhere having our sign, brought to you by Snoqualmie Arts Commission. So people understand that there's volunteers in the background doing all of this wonderful stuff for the good of the community.
Thank you for saying that. That's a good reminder to me because I'm doing the marketing, so I need to remember to do that to put your guys' logo on stuff. Ashley or Sarah, what about you? And then I want to see what Ashley, her goals of joining the commission.
I would agree with what Donna said, like smaller evening events sometimes would be nice, or just like smaller kind of things that are more regular as compared to the bigger events. I think that also would be easier for me to help with. And then one other, I was just thinking as we were talking, I don't know if this is even possible, I'm going to throw it out there anywhere, is somehow connecting with the schools and maybe their art teachers, or somehow getting maybe some of the stuff that's done in schools into the community. I don't know. Anyways, that was just a passing thought because we've some great schools and that could be a fun way to get both the kids engaged in the community a little bit that go to school here, some support maybe for the art teacher. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Like how
that might be a stretch, but
yeah.
Ashley, what about you?
Well, I think my specialty I might be bringing to the group is that I am an educator, and I have my business where I teach kids. I'm in the schools and I'm doing all of that thing, and kind of what Sarah was saying, having a space that's dedicated for our student artists to display would be really cool. Something
Yeah,
that didn't
we could consider integrating that into the art that we rotate into the city hall and some of the
Yeah,
other locations like that. That would be
yeah,
super cool. That would be super cool.
yeah. Well, and at North Bend Elementary right now, we just did still life pop art donuts, and this is North Bend Elementary, so it wouldn't apply to Snoqualmie, but I went to the bakery and I talked to them and I'm like, hey, if I can put together a big giant poster with maybe 100 other kids' faces on here, would you guys display it? And they were really excited about that. So I don't know if there's some kind of conjunction we could make with a place in Snoqualmie or
Sigello's does that.
Sigello's,
The last
yeah.
couple of
And I know
years.
Black Dog does
Yeah.
shows.
So I think the local businesses are really happy to.
Yeah, and that's those maybe my more manageable things, and then my mind that is an overachiever's brain of like, you know, wine walk, art walks, an art, instead of just having Snoqualmie days, could we have like an art festival? But these are huge things, and what I'm gathering, because I don't know anything, and what I'm gathering is those are very hard to manage.
Yeah.
So that's not maybe something that's a realistic.
Yeah, the art wine walk, just as a real brief context, like
Yeah.
that was a partnership with the gallery.
Right.
Because it's like liquor control and funding, and as
Yeah.
a city, we can't take in registration, so we have to have a
Yeah, and
nonprofit
it's not like we
partner.
have a vendor.
A vendor issue, and so the gallery
Yeah.
was like tapping out, understandably, they
Yeah.
were like capacity, everyone's tired, did too
Yeah.
much, and then Art Off the Rails, same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of always remind people is we're small, but we're mighty, but we're
Yeah.
also, you guys are also volunteers, so
Yeah.
when like the Art Off the Rails, great vision, but it was started by a commissioner that's no longer here, and then we're all like, oh, kind of.
Was it started in Snoqualmie?
It was a combination of Snoqualmie and North Bend, but there was a very active person for it, but then that person stepped away, Steve picked up what he could last
okay.
year, so it is difficult.
I always thought it was North Bend Arts and Industries thing.
No, we were, it was
Oh.
a trio the first
I
year, it was
realized that,
like
okay.
very much a
Yeah.
partnership between three people, so
Yeah.
I think being mindful of everyone's capacity, cause
Yeah.
I mean, behind the scenes, I'm doing the marketing, I'm paying the bills, I'm
Yeah.
doing the press
There's
release.
1,000 other
I'm
communities that take
sure.
it.
So
Well, and one other connection I have is two vendors, because I did vending for years and I have a lot of contacts. And I know how that system works, and like anything we did in the summertime, we'd need to be reaching out to vendors and like have that stuff available January. Cause that's when everybody starts planning their year and registering and applying to things.
Yeah.
And so it would be even difficult to make that deadline at this point.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of here to just like hear and listen and
learn about it,
absorb
but bringing some
like,
expertise of being a teacher.
Yeah, and
you-
like, yeah, that kind of stuff is what I can
Gonna
bring
hand-
insight to.
Donna's got a hand up.
Hey, oh, hey, hi. I wanted to kind of share my perspective on art. I think Art Off the Rails is a great concept. I'd love to see it continue. I think where it maybe went awry is it started like this versus started a little smaller and add on each year. It was such a big concept from the former member. Like it was we've got to have a food place where people sit and banners and it just became a very, very overwhelming versus maybe tailoring it down a little bit, getting that piece turnkey, because like Plain Air right now is pretty turnkey. Like I could hand over the documents and everything, and it took a solid year of coordinating certain aspects of it. I think it just needs to be smaller in size, get that piece turnkeyed, whether it's organizing the music and the food trucks, so that isn't a heavy lift. And then the next year you add on, okay, now we're going to do this, artists, we're going to add that on, get that so that it's a turnkey process. Because everything basically gets into a process at a certain point. But when you have to develop a process for 15 to 20 different things all at the same time, it's overwhelming. So that's just my thought. Because Art Off the Rails, I think it's a great concept. I think it's really cool that we're using the trains between the two cities and connecting those dots. So, if it can continue, great. But I would understand if it didn't.
What if they combine it with the Snoqualmie Days?
Yeah, and actually, if you wanna sit down and you and I could pick some time out, carve some time out to talk about kind of running events, because I've done a lot of events up and down the valley, and like we can talk about kind of some historical stuff there, and talk about the ways that, because I'd love to kind of put some flame to any little ember of excitement around that. But like Donna said, yeah, we need to start with a strong core and kind of build on it,
Yeah, build out.
as opposed to the splat that we started with the first year. So I mean, I say splat because we just threw a lot of things at the wall. Cool.
Well, last year when we met, like the classes was, you were a new member and the classes was an important initiative. And I think you brought that to us, you're doing it good. So that's like an example of something that has been new.
Small.
Yeah, you did start small. So I
Start
just,
small and build.
yeah, like I love how you have this perspective of the spring cherry tree. Like you're like, no, Cole,
He shared the idea with me.
well, no, but I think because I was taking this turnkey thing that Donna and others have created and was like, oh, well, let's just like minimize it a little bit and do the cherry trees. But you actually made it more efficient even more, which was so much better. So it wasn't taking away from what plein air is, but it's kind of this neat opportunity. So I like how you made it efficient. But I guess what I'm saying, like looking ahead, I just don't want to leave any ideas not on the table. Or I also knew, we have some new people, there's people coming in, people coming out, but so I'm hearing keep up the classes, try to somehow keep up the murals, plein air, maybe that's our signature event. Like that's the Arts Commission's signature event, and we do it well, locals and bring people in. Chocolate block, fun and easy for the kiddos. And then, how do we continue to activate the youth and have teaching opportunities? And then Art Off the Rails is a bit of a question mark out there. We want to support it, but we're not sure what our capacity is.
What about the mural?
That's what I was just gonna ask, the building.
The carousel mural, yeah. So it's still in process. That falls under, Nicole's got, juggling a lot. So the owner of the building had the contract, or our attorney gave it to the owner got it back. We had our attorney give it to the owner, and now the owner has it. And every time this happens, it's like a 2 or 3 month process. So
Right.
What was on it?
That's about right.
It's not.
I deal with contracts between vendors, and lawyers, and purchasing groups, and
when I talked to him a couple of months ago, he still wants to do it. So we're talking about the wall on Carousel on King Street, and the owner wants it. The owner of the building wants it. The owner of the store wants it. It's going to be sponsored by the Arts Commission. So yeah, it's happening. I just need to touch base with the landlord I would love to be able to work with him before the end of this year, see if we can get the legal agreement set up so that then when we go into next year, we can go into a call for artists or that kind of thing. And he is aware of it. He knows it. I think in his mind, once we reach kind of winter where it wasn't painting season, he kind of put it on the back burner of his desk. So it's still going on.
Then that would be a 2025.
2025, yeah, is my goal. So, and that will be
initiative.
That was gonna be my other thing to bring up was igniting more mural.
Yeah.
In the area.
Yeah.
It's because North Bend has been really inspiring.
They have been inspiring.
Yeah.
I think they went about it in a different way than we did because we were attaching funding with it from the city, which complicates it. I think what's been going on in North Bend has probably been more privatized. But like the wall on the Bindle Stick, that is supposed to be a mural. And the first step with that was that wall had that side of the building and the gutters needed to be basically redone and improved. And that's happened. So I know the Bindle Stick is working with a local.
The parking lot side.
There's a local resident, an artist who has a grant, so I think that will be coming, but that's done with private dollars. The artist will still have to go through the design review and all that good stuff, but yeah, so definitely if we could get more murals. Private property isn't as big of an issue. And maybe with the murals or something we can talk about in 2025, and I can also talk to the city attorney. Is there a way that maybe we offer like grants to mural artists? Like $1,000, or I'd have to look at our budget, like
Or could
if
we
something.
approach
What's
business?
on it?
Can we approach businesses with like, we can help subsidize, but you
Yeah, that's the word, subsidized. Yeah. So that could be a 2025 goal. Is there a way that we can help subsidize that? You gotta go to council? Okay. Anything you want to say before you leave?
No, I'm happy to see new faces, and I was a previous commissioner before I got elected to council, so I know what you guys are certainly capable of, so.
And Kat does a really good job telling your story to council and talking about the work that the Arts Commission does. So we're really lucky that you were here so you can champion for us. So thank you, Kat.
It's the cool kid committee, come on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
We'll see you later. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Donna, it was so nice working with you.
Bye, Kat. Thank you so much for everything you've contributed.
No, thank you, lady. You're awesome.
And also the last time when you were in gallery during Halloween, you mentioned about let us the gallery use one of the painting the city hall has.
Oh yeah, here's another thing. So the city owns original, I dare say artwork, but it's artwork by David Lynch, who produced Twin Peaks. And it was earlier this year, it was kind of hung a little high. And I walked by it one day and I'm like, what? It looked like kid art. And I was like, what is this? And then I started to look at it and I thought, holy moly, this is from David Lynch when they did the whole revival of the Twin Peaks in 2017. And then there was somebody who worked here who's a huge Twin Peaker, and she's like, oh no, I've taken pictures of that and put it out there and it gets a lot of traction. So I don't want to hide it in City Hall during Twin Peaks in the end of February. So I've asked the gallery if on behalf of the city or the Arts Commission that they will host the one piece at the gallery, because I do need it to be protected. I can't just have it hanging in the lobby, like it has to have eyes on it. So that's gonna be something that I'm gonna work with the gallery, and I can spin it so it's, on behalf of the city and the Arts Commission, but that partnership.
Don't we normally do a Twin Peaks?
Yes,
Maybe we could do a Twin Peaks wall at the gallery.
We do
and
have
then
a
it could be
Twin Peaks
integrated.
wall, but
I thought it would be a good way to get people to
Shari-
come into the gallery too, like all these
Right,
people that want to see
It's
the
probably
David
will
Lynch
be in
piece.
the window. Sharon says she's in charge of Twin Peaks events for a gallery,
Well,
so you can talk to her and how she organized, but I'm just mentioning this,
Thank you.
If it's valuable, we wouldn't want it in a window.
Well, and Nicole, I think you were gonna do a Twin Peaks themed playing.
Yeah. What do you guys think of that? So we had two women that when the bridges were the theme that Donna picked last year, and one of the bridges was the Rhine Bridge, which was in Twin Peaks. And so wasn't it two art teachers from somewhere in the school district, and they were ecstatic. So we thought, well, what if we did a Twin Peaks theme, but then it's hard to maybe send people off to
Like a map.
A map?
Give a map, because you don't have to know the show to know the area.
I mean, it could be like the Salish.
I gave them a map to the bridges.
Yeah.
Not it went with the day of the event card.
But it could be the Salish, it could be the Rhine Bridge, maybe we could talk to Dirtfish, maybe they would allow people to be out there.
Yeah.
But then I'm wondering, is that still enough time in the forest? I don't know. I'm whatever you guys think. I think there's something to a Twin Peaks theme.
Yeah.
People come back within 2 hours. I mean, we give them, they have to check in. They have to check in. Check-in starts at 9 and closes at quote 11. And then that's when you start doing, we do the judging like at 3. So if you start at 9 o'clock, you have like 6 hours. So people typically come back, drop off their paintings, go eat lunch or whatever, walk around. That's why we make it a bit of a day. So people can go, explore the area. This year we were set up at City Hall for check-in. Like that better because it was closer to restaurants and the little downtown merchants. So when people were dropped off their paintings to us, they could go walk around, and that's what they did. They said, oh yeah, we went and had lunch and checked out the town and stuff like that. So anyway, so if you did a Twin Peaks kind of theme, you would just have on the day of the event card the locations, the Twin Peak locations that they could select from.
Yeah, and I guess now while the area where you look out at the falls and the Salish, it belongs to PSE. Like hopefully they would be better to get permission. I don't know. Like if how the tribe would feel if we were saying, hey, come do that. But anyhow, okay, I like that.
So Nicole, I have a little bit of time pressure. I set aside an hour, but I gotta go. But Donna, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thanks for being on the commission. Send your friends our way. And Ashley, welcome. And I need to drop, but thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And happy holidays.
The other thing, I made an executive decision is that I've decided that so every year the plein air winner is framed. We own it's a city inventory art piece, and then it's the marketing for it's the look for the marketing for the next year. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang it in the lobby for the whole year. Normally they just get hung in city offices. Do you like that, Dawn?
Love it. Love it.
And I'll have to send a picture to you guys, but I took it. I always take things to get framed at Ben Franklin in Redmond, and the guy was just thrilled. It was a new person, but the bridge, with it metal, and he said to me, "What's your budget on this?" And I'm like, because I had taken this from my own stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not being as cheap on my own stuff. I'm like, what do you think? But he did the frame, and then the inside, which would essentially be the matting, was metal with like these rivets on it, and so it was tying in with the metal of the bridge. It's so cool, you guys. And then also because it was on the, what's the white thing called? The cam. Yeah, so if you put matting on it, you would have taken away from the artwork. So it's just the thin frame. It was like, it's like a mat.
I think it was Cheryl Comstock who won this year. I should
send a photo and let everyone see it.
I think Cheryl Comstock, which she does plein air every single year. Every year, Cheryl shows up with her cute little VW bug, and it's like, okay, Cheryl's here. And so I think she won this year, and I bet, I bet it's hers. I bet it looked great.
Yeah, so I'm in that. There's a certain wall in the lobby on the first floor that I'm just always going to hang every year. The winning piece will be there in the lobby all year.
I love that. I love that. And I think if nothing I would do differently this year is to make the lobby in July, and this is for you to understand, Ashley. This year we wanted all of the past winners to be present in the City Hall lobby for the month of July, because plein air is always in July. So that's what we did. But they were all kind of put into one spot under the stairway. And
I'll have them on the main wall.
Yeah, the more prominent hangings were of a photographer. So this year I would say just make all of the plein air more spaced out, make it more of a gallery where you can walk through and see each one, and versus having it just kind of in one spot. And it was a little awkward. One of the artists had said that was kind of weird the way that was displayed. Because we sent some of them in there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
So are we gonna do 2 floor or just one, just downstairs?
I think if we could get it on one, that would be nice on the main wall, but if we can bring things upstairs, or we can even have it all up here.
This wall is fantastic.
So we might even be able to.
That wall has great light. The one behind you right there. I mean, it does, but that would be one of the things I would change, because I think it was nice bringing out all of our past winners. We have some beautiful artwork, which I'm like, this is being stored away for nobody to see.
Well, it's in the city offices, but to have it out there, and the one that, I mean, I love so many of them, but my personal favorite just always has touched me is the Alex Trapp piece, and he's passed away. So like, I'm in my 3rd desk in a year, and wherever I go, that goes above my desk, because I just love it so much. So now it's across from me, but and it's extra. Like, I almost had that moment of, would the family want this, you know, but it's it's a city property, but I love that piece, so.
So maybe the
Okay.
family would love to come visit it during the month of July.
Yeah.
Well, we could have it scanned and make a cheap print of it on canvas.
Well, we do posters at the gallery. Did you guys know that? Every year when we take a photo of it and we put a border.
Yeah,
And the gallery sells the posters of all of the past.
How do I not know that?
You didn't know that?
I think it's
$30 and it's a big poster that.
And then
I've never seen them at the gallery.
I think
they do.
Spaces of a Premium, it's hard. Don't they usually have like like something on the counter that says?
Well, this
No.
year we have a 1 month that's in the Alice, it has the window, like the outside window, and because that thing is quite big and long,
Yeah,
and so we put it in the back rooms and then whatever. But we do have a size sale if you're interested in purchase a poster, then you can talk to the artist and they will get one for you. Last year they do have inside the gallery like a big thing in the gallery, but we didn't sell any poster last year, so I don't know. I mean,
I think
it's hard to
so
say.
much.
I think it's hard because people don't know they could buy them and they're not out. That's probably part of the problem.
Yeah, that defeats the purpose.
Mhm.
You know, and a lot that I'm taking away from just being a new person walking in is I've lived here since 2019 and I'm an artist and I'm in the gallery. And I didn't know the art commission was involved in so many things. Is there a way that we can make it part of our mission this year to really like pronounce ourselves more so people like know what's like even the thing in the gallery, like really like set up a thing that says, you know, what it is and
Yes.
I think it depends on the people. I mean, some people like to be serving the community quietly, so.
But if no one knows what we are, how do we get anywhere with?
I'm a big fan of branding. I have said that. I'm a big fan of making sure we have some
Branding's huge.
So basically tell our story more.
Yeah,
tell our story.
because that's how we're gonna get more members. That's how we're gonna get people more excited.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna get a robust full room of people who can run these huge events that would be really beneficial and exciting. But we just don't have the means for it right now.
Yeah. I think that I could try to help with that and I don't know.
But yeah, it's a very abstract idea. I don't know what it is, but.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I don't know if it's monthly messaging or if it's things we can do in the e-news and the social media or on our page.
You know, it's like you can only beat the social media horse for so long.
Right. But I think
hard.
that's a good goal. How do we tell our story more? So okay. Anything else for the good of the order? And yeah, we are down 1 or 2 more people. 2. We're still down 2 people, so shake those trees.
Yeah.
Shake those trees. Okay.
And we don't have a meeting in December typically, yeah?
Yeah, we don't typically, enjoy the holidays.
Do we know when our next meeting will be?
Maybe January
The 2nd.
And then I think that maybe we'll kind of hit the ground running in January and maybe map out the year. So there's some marching orders, is be thinking about what we've talked about this year and goals and some of the things that you guys, I always say we, because I feel like I'm part of you guys, but that you want to see happen, and then what's an area where you could invest some of your time, you know, some boots on the ground, like what are the things that drive you and that you feel passionate about. You never want to, like, I never wanted to volunteer in the nurse's office. I tried it once and I was like, this is not for me, but I can do other things when I volunteer for the school. So you have to just find your passion.
Is it the second Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Donna.
January 13th.
My term ends in January. I don't know what that means. End of January. So do I attend in January? And then
I think it's the end. The mayor and the city clerk changed the council procedures. I think all of the terms end at the end of this year.
Okay.
End of December, and then the goal is then she would appoint everybody in all of the vacancies in the various commissions for January 1st.
Got it. So this is truly my last.
This is truly your last, Donna. But I know how to reach you. I'll be like, Donna.
No, again, I have all of the info on plein air. Like I've got all the how to create the postcard, the day of the event card, the judges sheets, the registration sheets. I mean, I have it all. It's like,
Yeah.
it is truly the first year, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of work. It was
Yeah.
a lot of freaking work of putting together something that hadn't been created before. There
Yeah.
was no day of event cards, which all of the
It was
artists
all in the
like.
Sally's brains. They
Yeah.
just did it. And then it evolved because it was part of Snoqualmie Days and then we pulled it out. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
COVID, it was
I
evolving.
mean, all of the artists really like the day of because it tells them exactly where they need to be at each time. Because what was happening was I was sitting at a table regurgitating it, 15, 20 times, half the time forgetting what I just told somebody. And now I just hand them a card and it says be back by 3. I mean, it's so much easier now to put the event together now that all those things have been created. You're just changing dates now and changing like
Yeah.
time. And then
Well,
I would say the other thing you should continue to do is learn from the event to improve upon it.
yeah.
Oh, that didn't really work great. We learned that when we had our check-in place right next to Meadowbrook Farms because it was so out of the way and people had to drive in and drive out and so on. So they were like, nope, we better have a check-in that's closer into town and gives people the ability to walk around. So
Yeah, I think we learned that this year with City Hall. Like City Hall is easy to put directions in Google, there's bathrooms. And
yeah,
I was glad to come in and get eyes on it just in case I have to be a backup and to see like how you stamped people's pages. I didn't understand that, or the back of their canvases or whatever. So,
so
yeah,
yeah,
I
just
appreciate that.
learning. And now it's much more branded too. Like the stamp now has a very plein air look. We have a plein air script. The colors are evergreen, black and white. Like so,
Yeah.
our tablecloths are evergreen. So we've got signage that all matches, and so
Yeah.
it's pretty turnkey now. It's
Yeah.
not as challenging. The first year, I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of work. I was all like, that's a lot of work. I got a full-time
No,
job, not getting paid.
yeah, you've done a good job. Thank you, Donna. I think I have everything in a bin, like one bin, and I have all the supplies in the bin and it's really helpful. So,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that the other thing is send out a save the date to all prior participants around March.
Yeah.
Because July, everybody books their summer months, and you'll find that, if you do a save the date, if you know what I mean, we told all the artists last year, we didn't this year because both Nicole and I weren't going to be on the commission, but we told all the artists the year before, it's going to be July 20th, save the date. We already knew.
And that's gonna be the same date as that same.
I was just gonna ask.
Same weekend and
Okay.
I mean, just to keep with the continuity and yeah. So cool. All right, well, I
Cool.
guess for the good of the order, we'll adjourn. Oh, we lost Sarah. Thank you, Donna, and
Thank you.
see you around.